All right, everybody, welcome back. Good late evening. It's time to wrap up our look at free agent cornerbacks. We're doing more depth guys. These are guys who are going to be very cheap and will almost certainly fill the role of backup, special teamer, whatever have you in the NFL. Keep in mind, there are plenty of players that we didn't talk about in this series that are out there at cornerback. I don't have time to go through every single cornerback because, quite frankly, there are a lot of them. There are too many of them for me to do in a video series. It's not like quarterback or tight end or center. Those positions, yeah, I can do everybody. Not so much here. So there are going to be a couple other guys you can at least consider, but these are some guys that caught my attention as being potential pieces of value on some level. All right. Again, lightning round here. Emmanuel Moseley. This guy, he can't catch a break. Can't catch a break. Can't stay healthy. He really hasn't played football since 2022 when he played all of 5 games. And the last time he played a lot of football was 2021 when he played 11. So the guy can't stay healthy. The guy can't stay on the field. And now he's about to turn 29. Hard for me to believe there's anything out there for him other than 1 year, 2 million at most. Like, you got to go back to 2022, and he played pretty good. PFF grade was good, 70.9. But even that's only 312 snaps. That's really not that good. That's not exciting. So I don't think that's going to convince anybody to give him a big payday. Botrack does not have a market value page, but he signed a 1 year, $2.9 million deal with the Lions and didn't play a snap. Or maybe he played like 2 snaps or something. I can't remember for sure. Point is, he didn't really play. So 1 year, 1.7 million, something like that, maybe. I know he's talented. I know he's done good things in this league, but at a certain point, you can't do it. Corey Ballentine, player for the Giants for several years there, played a little bit for them. Went to the Jets, went to the Lions, went to the Packers, spent last 3 years on the Packers. Had his first real opportunity to play extensive snaps in 2023 for the Packers. 6 starts. Didn't leave a big impact or anything like that, but he played okay. He showed that he belonged in the NFL. He showed that he has some ability, some possibility of good play. It's almost 500 snaps, by the way, so the sample size is pretty decent. And no market value page, but you're probably looking at something akin to what he got last year in Green Bay. Because in 2024, as you can see, he only had 1 start and had 6 tackles all season. He barely played. So this year it's probably going to be something like 1 year, 2 million at most. Tre'Davious White, this would be one of the aging veterans who might have a little bit left that you can get super cheap, but you also have to understand is probably at the end of the line here. The guy can't stay healthy. He had 4 starts in 2024. He had 4 starts in 2023, 6 starts in 2022. The guy's just not really capable of playing consistent football right now. And he did play in most of the games last year for the Ravens, but even then, it's like 6 games he's still inactive. This is a former Pro Bowler, a former All-Pro. This is a very well-established player in the NFL. So for him to be getting shelved and made inactive before games tells you he's not where he used to be anymore. 400 snaps in 2024 total, poorly graded, 52.9, not exciting. Year before that was pretty good, but it's not even 200 snaps. 68 grade is good, but what are we doing here? 182 total snaps? Even that, like, at a certain point, gotta wonder, can this guy just not stay healthy? He does have a market value page. It's 1 year, 1.4 million, so you can't go too wrong for a price like that, but you're paying that price because you know there's a chance this guy gives you maybe a couple hundred snaps and then calls it good. He is on the wrong side of 30 now, and it seems like he's a lot older than this because he can't stay healthy, but he just turned 30 in January. Excuse me. Antonio Hamilton of the Falcons. He's been around the league as well, spent a couple years in Oakland, a little bit with the Giants, Chiefs for a year, went to Arizona for 3 years, so we're a little familiar with him with the Cardinals. Got to start a little bit with the Cardinals, and then he went to Atlanta last year and barely played. So he is just looking for an opportunity in the NFL right now. Last time he played significant snaps, PFF liked him. 64.7, 560 snaps. That's pretty good. So it seems like maybe he's just kind of a victim of a bad situation, going to Atlanta and playing for the Falcons in a situation where they just ended up not needing him. And the year before that, 420 snaps, 68.5. Seems like a decent player who just caught a little bit of bad luck in 2024 with where he landed. So I wouldn't mind this. There's no market value page for him, but it won't be more significantly so than what he got with Atlanta, right? 1.4 million, so probably 1.5 million, 1.6, 1.7, something like that. Kind of into that one. I don't know. Antonio Hamilton, that's a free agent that strikes a little bit of a chord with me. That's something that I look at and I go, maybe there's something beyond the value that you would pay. And I say that knowing that he just turned 32. We are getting into the danger zone. But it would be a one-year deal anyway. Tavierre Thomas. Tavierre Thomas, next guy here. This guy plays some safety as well, by the way. Bounced around the league. Spent time with Cleveland, spent time with Houston, spent time with Tampa. Never been a full-time starter. He had 1 year in Houston where he started 8 games. Other than that, he's just a part-time starter and reserve player. Last year, he played 17 games and started 0. So that's where he is now in his career. Graded well by PFF the last year he played significant snaps, which was 2023. 350 snaps, 72.2. That's pretty good. 70 grade in 2022, 400 snaps. So it seems like when he gets out there, he's fairly effective, but you got to moderate and you got to keep his snaps down, just kind of in general. Going to turn 29 soon here. Age, not a big problem yet. No market value page for, sorry, let me get the pronunciation right here. Tavierre Thomas. I'd imagine it'd be like 1 year, 1.5 million or so because he didn't play last year. But there's a good player in here somewhere, and he offers that safety flexibility as well. Darnay Holmes. He's a free agent this offseason, and he's just about to turn 27. So that's kind of the money year where you look for and you hope a player's about to hit his stride and become the best version of himself. This guy spent 4 years with the Giants, spent a year with the Raiders last year, has never been a full-time starter in this league. Last year he started 1 game. He did play a decent amount in a reserve role, but still not much data for us to go off of. We're talking about 300 snaps. Grade was below average, but capable, right? Not terrible. Not anything alarming. And the year before that, when he was still on the Giants, 123 snaps, decent. So not somebody you want playing a lot, but somebody that you can have playing a little. Market value for him is 1 year, 1.3 million. So you're paying him basically vet min. I don't know why you'd have to really go beyond that. So I don't even think he's going to get this. It's going to get close, though. It's basically right. And you're going to have a guy who's theoretically coming into whatever prime he's about to have. Troy Hill. This one's a veteran. This one is going to turn 34 before the season starts. And he's been around, man. Bengals, spent a long time with the Rams. This was back when they were the St. Louis Rams. Browns, back to the Rams, to the Panthers, to the Buccaneers. Probably coming to the end here, if we're being honest. 2024, he did not play a lot. And he only started 3 games in 2023. But he does have a good track record, and he could have just a little bit left in the tank. Somebody's probably going to pay him a little bit of money to find out this offseason. PFF did give him 236 snaps in 2024. Not bad. 63.2. I mean, that's not terrible. There are a lot of players. You could do a lot worse. That's a top 100 center out of 223 graded. So that's pretty good. Year before that, thought he was about average. Workable. Tolerable. So he still had something. But when you get to that age, when you're up at like 30, 34 or whatever, 35, it could come at any second. So be cautious. No market value page. But his last contract was a 1 year, $1.2 million deal. So next one's probably going to be 1.2, 1.3 million or so. Not going to be anything serious. You just kick the tires in training camp, see if he has anything left. And if he doesn't, you move on with no money really invested. Just a little bit of time. Kevin King. Kevin King, very interesting one here. You guys might remember Kevin King from Washington. He's been in the league a while now, longer than I thought. Feels like not that long ago he was here in Washington. And it also feels like that because he just hasn't played a lot of football in the NFL. He's about to turn 30, and he just can't quite get his feet underneath him. He played out his rookie deal in Green Bay, played not great or anything, but he did do some pretty decent things. He had a 5-pick year in 2019, and then he missed 2 seasons. He missed 2022 and 2023, didn't play. Nothing to talk about with those years. And then he went to Atlanta in 2024, and he barely played. So this guy hasn't played a significant amount of football since 2021. So, I mean, I'm not going to go back that far and try to evaluate a player now based off what he did in 2021. Now, in 2024, he was graded well, but it's 74 snaps. It means almost nothing. Who cares? It doesn't really represent much of anything other than the fact that he probably got a happy end of high variance in a game plus worth of snaps. So there's talent here. He's a bigger guy. He can do stuff. He's shown that he can do stuff in this league before, but it's been a long time. Botrack does have a market value page for him. It's 1 year, 1.3 million. So don't get me wrong. You can't really go that wrong at that price point. But at this point, it would be a little bit of a surprise if he's got anything left in the tank, right? It would be a little bit of a surprise if Kevin King was able to come back and become a good NFL player. Now, if you're signing him for depth, he's certainly talented. He's certainly got physical ability. And there is some positive signs with him. And it'd be a fun homecoming. But this one's tough. It's hard to evaluate a player that has barely played football in 3 years. Tremon Smith. This is another guy who I believe has not played a lot of football lately. Hasn't started a game since 2022. And he started 5 games in his career. So this is a pure backup. Pure backup. About to turn 29 in July. 6th round pick of the Chiefs. Spent some time with Green Bay, Indy, Houston, now Denver. And he's just pretty much a purified backup. Got to go back to 2022 to find a year where he played a significant number of snaps. And even then it was only 200. Well graded, I guess, right? But he's a backup in this league. That's all he is. That's all he's going to be. So you give him the vet min, which for him would be what? 1 year, 1.2, 1 year, 1.3, something like that. And you just say, okay, sit on the bench. I don't hate the idea. He's played well before. He's been a good player in this league. But he's pretty solidly confined into that depth area of football. And this last guy, this one would be a lot of fun if we still had Carroll. And it might still be fun. Benjamin St-Juste. Benjamin St-Juste. I really like this guy in the 2021 draft. He was one of my guys that I was hoping we could maybe take in the 2nd round. We didn't take him. Bigger corner, a lot of size, a lot of length. 6'3". Very intriguing skill set. Couldn't quite figure it out in Washington, it seems like. He did play a lot, but there doesn't seem to be any gas behind this guy becoming a long-term piece there. And with Dan Quinn there, with them building up something great, it doesn't seem like Quinn has much interest in making him a part of it. So there's been some good stuff. He had a nice 2023, 17 pass breakups, but doesn't take the ball away. And overall, it just kind of seems like his career never got to where I was thinking it would be when I scouted him. I really liked him coming out of college. PFF grade last year was awful, and it's a big sample size. And the year before that, it was about average, which, okay, that's his peak so far, though. On over 1,000 snaps, it's a good sample size. And he's going to turn 28 right about the time the season starts, right? Going to turn about 28. So theoretically, he should be pretty close to what he is. He is what he is. No market value page, but it's almost certainly going to be vet min. I don't know why it wouldn't. Maybe slightly more. I don't know. This one could be fun. I'd be more fun if we had Carroll. This is totally Carroll's kind of corner, St-Juste, but now I'm not so sure. There are limitations here. He's a bigger, slower guy. Depends on whether or not you value that. All right. Let me know what you guys think, if anything. We're done with the corners. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Gonna be on Twitch tonight. New position tomorrow.